Thank you very much. And again, apologies for not getting this out till last night and perhaps not giving you enough time to get the questions to me ahead of time. However, look, can I leave the flooding task force update until I just highlight another couple of things in the report? The two things that, in fact, there's three things I would like to highlight, but perhaps just moving quickly through, Struthers Lane is, for your information, you'll recall that we had a small group to keep things moving, and this is an example of how we applied that just to fast track a simple thing and not hold things up. 1.3, the Majestic Theatre update. I think you're all aware of where we got to with that. That just summarises it all in one place. I would like to draw your attention to 1.4. In particular, there's a recommendation there, and I just need to emphasise that when accepting a recommendation like this without a comprehensive report, you need to, or we should minute that you are happy with the information you've got and to back up this recommendation. So I'll leave that sitting there for the moment, and in fact, the next one, would you like to deal with it now?
Yes, look, I'll move the recommendation that Council ratifies the decision of the Acting Chief Executive to extend the due date for rating, sort of objections to rating valuations by 10 working days, which takes it to the 12th of May 2014. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Paul Lonsdale. Yanni?
Thank you. I'm really concerned at how our revaluations were done in regards to the red zone properties. Can we get... I'm also concerned that we had the...
Hang on, I'm going to deal with the resolution that we've moved and seconded, which is about the extension of the due date for objections. Can we just first have questions dealing with that matter? Okay. And then we can debate that matter. Yeah. And then if you want to deal with other matters arising from the report, then we can deal with that.
So my understanding is the reason for the request for the extension is concern that the Human Rights Commission have over how our revaluations were done in the red zone. Is that correct?
Correct. That's what the report says.
That's why I wanted to ask about that, because I'm happy to grant the extension. I do wonder whether it's long enough, given that as a councillor I would like to also get information back in response to the Human Rights Commission's point of view, and also understand more why the revaluations were done the way they were in the red zone. So I question whether an extension is actually solving the issue that's at hand, and whether there's any additional resolutions that we could put to actually get more satisfaction. So that's, before voting on this, I just wanted to ask those questions.
So do you think that the length of time for the extension is long enough?
I do think it is. I took, it was on legal advice that this period of time was suggested, and in relation to your questions about understanding the re-evaluations, I recall we did send you some information, so I will resurrect that and recirculate it around all councillors, and if you still require some more, we can talk about that.
No, I think Yanni's raising the question about how the rating valuations were done for the residential red zone, but I'm not sure that everyone's got a copy of the Human Rights Commission letter. Right,
no, we don't.
Okay,
but we also,
so we'll circulate that.
The outstanding issue as well is that we had the Human Rights Commission come and talk to us. We did ask, I think, for a report back on that report with his there were recommendations to council about how we should do things.
On the rating valuations?
On a whole bunch of issues from the Human Rights Commission.
No, I only want to deal with the rating valuations right now, because I want to deal with this motion. Okay. So are there any questions on the motion? Or any comments on the motion?
But can we just get clarified, when we had the briefing on the rating revaluations, we were told that one of the reasons in the red zone was that they couldn't be issued with building consents. So my understanding is people can get consents.
Sorry, I'm really not, I'm not trying to be unhelpful, but what particular briefing are you talking about?
We got briefed on the revaluation process and on how things were done and what was, what was taken into account. What I'm really asking is, do we as a council need to change or give clear direction to our valuers over how to revalue stuff in the red zone?
We're not able to do that,
Okay.
which is why we are extending the time so that people are enabled to lodge their objections in time.
So what can we do if we have concerns about that process, if anything?
We will have to deal with that as a separate matter.
Okay, fine.
But we haven't formed a position. We haven't formed a position on the rating valuation in the residential red zone.
But I do think if we get that information recirculated, then we can
And
take
it will
up
certainly come
directly.
back onto the agenda. I'm absolutely confident of that. Yeah. Are there any other questions or comments that people would like to make? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Right, you can carry on with your report.
Next